From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan, and happy Easter. We're looking at temperatures still warming up for the day today, seeing beautiful blue sky temperatures into the 30s, 39 degrees in Grand Ledge, Lansing, 40 degrees in Jackson, 44 degrees down into Hillsdale. Satellite radar showing quiet conditions, maybe just a few clouds moving back into the forecast. However, as we head into the next 12 hours, clouds will begin to increase. And as we head into the afternoon and evening, we do have the slight chance for maybe a little bit of a shower or two, but I think we'll still stay dry. The full forecast coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Sunday, April 20th. I'm Karina Prieto, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. Today is Easter Sunday, one of the holiest days in the Christian calendar. Believers from around the world are celebrating with church services, reenactments, and processions. Here's a look at just a few. In Sevilla, Spain, monks take part in a week of processions that date back hundreds of years. And in Jerusalem, thousands of worshipers gather to take a path they believe Jesus took when he was arrested and brought to trial. Others celebrate through acts of suffering, like in Mexico, where churchgoers attach cacti to themselves to mirror the crown of thorns that Jesus wore according to tradition. Today also marks the last day of the Jewish holiday Passover, which celebrates the exodus of the Israelites from slavery. We also wanted to remind you that the Capital Area Transportation Authority will not be running its normal services because of the Easter holiday. CATA will offer limited routes and pre-reserved trips only. These include services from 8 a.m. this morning to 4 p.m. Normal routes will resume tomorrow on April 21st, and we have a full list of these CATA routes and changes on our website, WLNS.com. Many Big Ten University faculty members, including some at Michigan State, are urging their universities to join together with the goal of fighting against what they see as attacks from the Trump administration. Zach Prees is here for you now with what this all means for our Midwest schools. Zach?
Thanks, Karina. Rutgers University was the very first Big Ten school to propose the idea of an intercollegiate alliance. Now other schools are hopping on board, potentially including Michigan State. Here's how it works. The faculty senates in the Big Ten Academic Alliance want to create a mutual defense compact to fight against the Trump administration and what they see as attacks against higher education. They say participating schools will provide legal counsel, experts, and more available to each other. It began with the Faculty Senate of Rutgers University, who passed a resolution on April 6 to establish a mutual academic defense compact among all 18 Big Ten schools. So far, only 5 Big Ten schools are in, with MSU the latest to express interest in joining this week. These schools are concerned with federal funding cuts, as well as attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs from the Trump administration. In a statement to The Hill, Rutgers officials said senators have moral and ethical responsibility to review matters that are impacting anything relating to university-level academic freedom, curriculum, policies, or more. Some schools are reportedly nervous about joining the alliance for fear that the Trump administration may actually retaliate against them further. Some think it also might be a little tougher sledding in red states.
Thanks, Zach. We turn now to international news with an update from the war in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin declared a one-day Easter ceasefire along the front lines as a show of good faith after the largest prisoner swap of the war. But Ukraine says the airstrikes haven't stopped. The Ukrainian president says there have been hundreds of artillery and drone attacks today and more than a dozen attacks by ground forces. Meanwhile, more than 250 Ukrainian soldiers were reunited with their families after spending years as prisoners of war in Russia. It was the largest single transfer of the war, and thousands still remain in captivity on both sides. In Washington, U.S. officials say President Trump is getting more frustrated by delays from the Russian negotiators, and he's threatening to walk away from a peace deal altogether. In Rome, administration officials had more luck during yesterday's negotiations with Iran over the future of the country's nuclear program. Both parties said progress was made in the first round of talks, and a second round is set to take place next week in Oman. The U.S. wants Iran to give up its ambition of developing a nuclear bomb, and Iran wants to stop U.S. sanctions that have ruined the economy. A first draft of the deal would allow Iran to continue a nuclear energy program if it surrenders all of its weapons-grade uranium to another country like Russia. And we also have a tragic update on a crash that we first reported on during yesterday's broadcast. The incident killed one teenager and put another young adult in the hospital in serious condition. It happened around 7 a.m. on I-96 between Okemos and Williamston Roads. The Ingham County Sheriff's Office says a sedan carrying 4 people veered into the median and rolled several times, ejecting 2 passengers. The car ended up on the other side of the highway, and police have confirmed that a 17-year-old died. The 22-year-old driver was taken to a hospital with serious injuries, along with a 20-year-old passenger with critical injuries. Officials say the 4th person in the car was not injured and that all of these people were from Troy. Police say this was a one-car crash and they are continuing to investigate.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We had a beautiful sunrise this morning with dry conditions and plenty of sunshine. Clouds will begin to increase this morning though, but still we have a good few hours of some sunshine. In fact, take a look at our forecast into Jackson. We're seeing beautiful blue skies, quiet roadways, and dry roadways as well. A little bit chilly this morning. You might need a light jacket as you're heading out the door. I know I did need a long sleeve jacket and maybe a pair of sweatpants as we head out the door this morning, but we're also going to start to see temperatures slowly start to warm up. We'll see very similar temperatures to what we did yesterday, but we're just a little bit cooler to start for the day. We're already seeing temperatures warm into the 40s, 40 degrees in Jackson, 43 in Hillsdale, 41 in Charlotte, and 39 in Lansing. Satellite radar remains quiet. We do have an area of high pressure sitting right on top of us, and that's why we're staying dry and quiet and relatively cloud free. But as you can see to our west, that is our next weather system that's going to bring the chance for some showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder into the forecast as well. But right now we're still seeing cloud free skies, and we're going to continue to see cloud free skies until about the afternoon into this evening, maybe an isolated sprinkle here or there, but overall still remaining quiet and pretty nice in the forecast. 57 degrees, it's going to be the high today. We're pretty close to average, if not a few degrees cooler, but still a beautiful day today. So if you have any outdoor plans, just remember that the grass is still a little bit wet after yesterday's rain and a little bit of that dew or morning frost. So if you have any Easter plans, like maybe doing an Easter egg hunt or anything in the yard, just take your time and remember that the grass is wet, and you might want to take off any of those shoes that are very nice and maybe replace them with a pair of rain boots. Other than that, we'll see temperatures warm into the 50s, 57 degrees for the day today, and eventually we will cool back down for tonight with those rain showers moving in late tonight into tomorrow. But it's not going to be a widespread rain. It's just going to be a hit or miss rain for the day tomorrow. So just be aware that we're going to continue to see the temperatures into the 50s for today, 57 degrees, and eventually we will see the clouds return to the forecast. So again, a beautiful day today, so get out and enjoy the sunshine.
All right, so no rain, but I was just thinking, if you're picking out those Easter eggs out of the grass, you might need to wipe them off.
Yeah,
you might need to dry them off, right?
Honestly, you might just need to be carrying like Superman towel style,
right?
And just have a towel on your shoulders and just wiping them off before you put them in the bag.
All right, well, good reminder. Thank you, Kelsey.